Hey, we're unscripted again here, so I'm gonna jump right into this here.
Go ahead.
I want to thank you, Cuz, for the notes. This is Unscripted, episode 4, August the 6th.
Unscripted with
week ending August the 6th.
Yeah, week ending August the 6th,
We are here.
2021. Right away, Cuz made these notes. Thank you. So we're gonna start out here with rest in peace, Bobby Eaton, man.
R.I.P.
He was 62 years old. He's been battling health issues for a while. His wife died last year or the year before. I could be wrong on that.
Earlier this year in July.
It was earlier this year. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I just, again, we can dedicate like 10 minutes to this or whatever.
Yeah.
Bobby Eaton, there's a lot of wrestlers that continuously get praised because they're the Austins or the Hogans or the Rocks or the people of those ilk or the, Bretts and Shawns and all that stuff. But there are a lot of wrestlers that are kind of under the radar in the sense that if you talk to people in the industry, these people are like held up like in the highest regard. And Bobby Eaton, if you talk to anybody, he is a lot of people like in the industry are saying that he was just as good as Flair ever was. He was just as good as, Angle ever was. Not as far as like the amateur wrestling is concerned, but as far as like what professional wrestling is, Bobby Eaton was one of the best professional wrestlers in the world at the time. And I would say he is the main reason why the Midnight Express are legendary. Stan Lane was great. Dennis was great. But Bobby Eaton, Jim Cornette has yet to release a statement on the death of Bobby Eaton. And I'm sure when it is, it's going to be pretty emotional because Jim Cornette is, obviously was the manager of the Midnight Express, both versions of them.
I just want to make sure you guys can see this, right?
Yeah, we got
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And
I guarantee
Bobby,
you, Cornette will have it on the podcast next week.
Yeah, and I can't wait because you can say what you want about Cornette or whatever, but he's going to give it a very emotional tribute to Bobby. Everybody, and I mean everybody that posted anything, and anybody that you talked to in the industry said Bobby Eaton was one of the nicest men in the world, and he was fantastic. And everybody looks up to his in-ring work. If you go back and watch him, he didn't have the charisma, and I don't mean to be negative to him, or the look, of like a Hogan or the Rock or the Austins or whatever the world or the Flairs.
That's why I love how purposeful it is that he's beautiful, Bobby. I love the
I remember watching his Alabama Jam, which was leg drop off the top rope, and it was just breathtaking.
It's actually really, really good. It's a really
nowadays it's 25 flips, and the athletes are just better nowadays because they have all this tape that they can watch for the past 40.
But that leg drop looks devastating when he
Bobby Eaton, anybody will say. Even Edge posted something on his Twitter about how much he loved Bobby Eaton. If you were a student of the game, once you get in the industry, any smart student of the game watches Bobby Eaton's videos and watches what he did. He was like a Ricky Morton. He was like those. Ricky Morton's another one in the industry. You'd think of him as one half of the Rock and Roll Express, but Ricky Morton is regarded by tons of workers as one of the best ever workers ever. Any wrestler that's inside the industry will tell you about how good Ricky Morton is. They say the same thing about Bobby Eaton, and we lost him, and that sucks. And at the very least, he's going to go in the Hall of Fame with the Midnight Express, which he already is, right? Didn't Cornette put him in the Hall of Fame?
I'm sure on that side.
I think Midnight Express is in the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame.
Oh, he might have inducted them.
Yeah, God,
because Cornette put somebody in. They had Cornette back like a few years ago, and they were like, "Oh my God, hell froze over. Cornette's back." I want to say he put them in the Hall of Fame, but I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. Cornette was doing a Hall of Fame for someone. But if Midnight Express were not in the Hall of Fame, they should be. No, I think Cornette was putting Rock and Roll in. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Cornette put the Rock
and Roll Express.
So, yeah, they are not in. There was a February 24th article with Jim Ross explaining why they're not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay, there you go. I stand corrected. So Jim Cornette, but Midnight Express should be in the Hall of Fame.
It says not yet.
Yeah.
It'll
They will be now. And Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton were the original incarnation of the Midnight Express. The second version was Bobby and Stan. And there was also an article written that what if Bobby left and Stan stayed or Dennis stayed? It wouldn't have worked out because Bobby was the glue that held that team together. So I loved Bobby Eaton watching him. Some matches that I love of his is versus Arn Anderson at Super Bowl I, where he won the World Television Championship from Arn Anderson. He rarely got chances to shine as a singles wrestler, but he won the TV title, and that was a pretty cool moment. The Midnight Express feuding with the Fantastics was also fantastic. the Midnight Express feuding with the Road Warriors, the Midnight Express feuding with the Steiners, the Midnight Express feuding with any version of like the Southern Boys or whatever like that. All this stuff you should go back and watch.
You're talking about all those matches where people
Midnight
squash?
Express and the Rock. Excuse me,
they weren't
the Midnight,
squashing those matches.
Yeah, Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express. Like, oh my goodness, like these matches are tag team gems that should be watched, should be studied by any wrestling student. I miss Bob Eaton. I loved Bob Eaton, and we all did.
Look
a lot of us were.
They're carrying the world titles and the United States tag titles there, right?
I believe they were the first tag team ever to hold both of those titles at the same time.
Yeah.
So they were the only team to hold them at the same time. A lot of other teams would win them and then forfeit one right away.
But
they were allowed to reign with both. So Midnight Express are legendary. Bob Eaton is legendary. If you're going to say that Arn Anderson is the greatest tag wrestler of all time, you have to say Bob Eaton is. They're tied. They're just tied. Bob Eaton and Arn Anderson, they had a great tag team together late 91, early 92 with the Dangerous Alliance. I mean, you can go on and on with Bob Eaton. He teamed with Steven Regal. I miss that guy, man. Like, Bob Eaton was just one of the best workers I'd ever seen.
Here's a little random promo I brought up of him.
Look at this little chubby hair and his little helmet hair. He's great.
Who's he working with there?
Memphis.
No. Who's the tag partner?
I'm not sure, actually.
Oh, I'm not sure.
He was in Mid-South.
Yeah.
He was in Jim Crockett
CWA.
Promotions. Yeah, never in the WWF, unfortunately, but he was Continental Wrestling Association
part of the
in the early 80s. Yeah,
you could argue he's better for it not being in the WWF. So
maybe.
Well, they wouldn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I think so.
I think, according to Cornette, there was a period where they almost signed, but they wouldn't have done Midnight Express justice.
That's true.
So rest in peace, Bobby. What do you guys have to say about that? Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I think we were just jumping in as we go. Yeah. I think the term underrated comes to mind with Bobby. You take Bobby for granted on the viewership of wrestling, but if you were, I think to Justice's point, if you were inside that world, people talk about how enduring Bobby was and how much he wanted to help, and he would put people over when it was time to do it if it made sense. And I don't know if he ever fought it. I mean, but if he had to do the job, or if he had to put someone on their back, he could do it, and it would be believable. Either
if you have a free night, there's plenty of stuff on Peacock that you can go back and look.
Yeah.
If you have a free night, I'm being dead
that
serious.
library that Vince
as a wrestling fan, to anyone who's listening or watching that is a wrestling fan, you have a free night, or you don't have a free night. Bobby Eaton deserves you to block out time for him.
Can we just go back to the fact that Vince bought that entire WCW library for just over $2 million?
For $1.50. Pretty much, I think it was.
It was 1.5. It wasn't even.
No, I was just saying it was $1.50.
Oh, I'll buy that for $1.
So Bob Eaton, cuz you throw in there what you like, whatever. Dangerous Alliance, multiple tag team champion.
That's
arguably besides Arn Anderson, one of the greatest tag wrestlers of all time, if not the greatest tag wrestler of all time. Bob Eaton, fantastic.
Get some accolades there, buddy.
Yeah. So next we're gonna jump on here to. I'll give you some time, cuz is Bray Wyatt. Oh, look at cuz is right on it. He just brought it right up. Bray Wyatt was released from WWE this week. I know it's been a heated discussion by a lot of people. I know Cuz is going to get super pissed off and emotional in a second here about the fans and the blah, blah, blah. But where is he going to go? Bray Wyatt, I'm just going to say right in the start, and I'll let you guys take it over here. Bray Wyatt, the character, The Fiend, one of the best characters I've ever seen in watching pro wrestling in my life. Now his booking sucked, and that was the company's fault, but Bray Wyatt took whatever they gave him. Now let's go back to the Bray Wyatt family before The Fiend. Also a great character. I got the whole world in my hands.
Oh yeah.
The whole crowd would sing it. He did get a chance to get in there with people like Cena and Daniel Bryan and all those guys too. So he did get a lot of experience. What we talked about on past episodes was back in the day, a lot of these guys could cut their teeth on independent promotions and regional promotions and not be seen on a national level. Then by the time they get up to the national level, they're seasoned already, and they've already worked with a bunch of different territories. They've done Mid-South, they've done this, they've done Northern United States, they've been up to Canada, they've been to Japan. We always talk about how important it is for people to go to Japan and learn. Bray Wyatt never really had that chance. He'll get it now, but he never had that chance because when WWE started developing their own people, even before they developed the
they're in
NXT
they're in the WWE vacuum.
Yeah, when they're in the WWE bubble, even before the NXT training facility and all that stuff, like you learn the WWE way from the start. So Bray didn't get that opportunity. But so we saw Bray grow up, whether it was Husky, whether it was as part of the invasion of the NXT guys or the Nexus. And then we saw him become the Bray Wyatt character on the rocking chair, which he captivated everybody. He himself as a talent has done everything he's ever been asked to do. I'm a huge fan of his booking.
I would say he's done everything he was asked to do until he lost a really, really close friend. And I'm guessing here, but I think that's why Bray either asked for his release or he was released. He still has not gotten over, He's not gotten.
No, he's gotten over. I disagree with that statement.
No. Hasn't gotten over the death of his.
Oh, got it.
Friend.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was in a bad way. He was not booked to lose at WrestleMania at first. We all know that now.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to happen, but he had to take time. And I'm wondering now if he outright just asked to be released. He's not ready.
Yeah. Well, and that's what a lot of people are saying too. Don't shit all over WWE because he could have asked to be released. He got cleared from his injury a couple months ago. And he could have asked, but before I know, cuz you're itching, I get it.
No.
But I just wanted to say, to close it out, there's a difference between a wrestler not embracing his character and not doing everything they can do to get it over, and then the booking. And unfortunately, in today's wrestling, they do not go hand in hand. Bray has done everything to get his character over. He is not at fault. WWE just cannot book him right. They're trying to book him in a PG era. And it's not going to work. This character deserves to grow a little bit. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I just wanted to say,
by the way, because the second character is way over the top, and he still made it work. I'm
a fan of his. We would normally, 30 years ago, he would be able to cut his teeth on the indie promotions, and when he got to the nationals, it probably wouldn't be a question. But unfortunately, nowadays, NXT is so televised and so everywhere that you don't see these guys don't get to grow in private. And that's my point is we have to see these guys on a national level when they take the Bray Wyatts up or they take the his brother who was Bo Leave and all that stuff or whatever.
So good.
Normally he would get to do Bo Leave in private and regional, but because everything is streamed on the internet now and WWE doesn't even do their NXT in private, it's all public. And so these guys, when they're trying to cut their teeth and learn, they have no privacy. It's either recorded by a cell phone or it's whatever, and they don't get a chance just to fail or succeed on their own before they get to national level.
And forbid somebody hacks your cell phone.
I just wanted to bring that up in talking about the Bray Wyatt thing before I turn it over to you guys, because that's important. That's a big factor in wrestlers today.
I'm good. Hand it Cuz's way.
So go ahead, Cuz.
Cuz has some beef.
Go ahead, Cuz. Go for it. Go for it.
I agree. There is some bad booking. I don't like the red light during the match. I don't like that. I didn't like how
that's all their production. It's not his fault.
Hey, Cuz, can I ask you something?
Oh, go ahead.
Did you prefer old school Bray Wyatt family or did you prefer the Fiend?
I love both of them, but I personally I would go to Bray Wyatt family.
Yeah, I think it's more believable. I think it's a faction, and
I love factions too. That's why.
Yeah, and I love.
Yeah, but if they didn't try to overproduce the Fiend would have been fine. Can you imagine?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Can you imagine the sweater wearing Funhouse Bray Wyatt being on one brand and then the Fiend being on the other, and them refusing to believe that they're the same person? Them denying it, like Owen did with the Blue Blazers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Who's the let's not?
It would have been great.
Or whatever. Yeah, can you imagine? If Bray, they booked him as having two personalities.
I mean, they kind of did it. They just had to do it on one brand.
Right.
But
or on one brand. Or Bray in the sweater is a face and the Fiend's a heel. You know what I mean? Amazing.
Exactly.
And taking Mick Foley to a different level is what they should have done.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll admit of course there's bad booking. There's, like I said, the red light. I didn't like the way his match with Orton ended at WrestleMania. I think that stuff is stupid. I always say that. I hate the theatrics. I hate the production of making it look like a movie. Stupid, Kane and Undertaker.
I love the Jack in the Box. What are you talking about?
No, I hated that. It was so stupid. my beef more is because we mentioned the fans is. I get there's people that were fans of him, but now everyone's acting like he was the best thing ever, which I think he was one of my favorites right now. Where was his support Where was the support when he was going out there? Because even I don't care if it's like my favorite wrestler in the world that's getting this stupid gimmick. When we go to live shows,
are you mad that they were chanting, bring out the beach balls?
But that was a true statement what Ronda Rousey said. They really were doing that, and it's like, who cares if they haven't booked him that great, but he's still in a match with someone that he's going to have a good match with.
Say that was probably like 200 people, and Ronda's just trying to get heat right now.
No, there was a lot of people got pissed because they took the beach balls away because they started grabbing the beach balls. The security guards did because there was like 3 or 4.
I get that.
There was a shit ton of people chanting.
So by your logic, I'm going to challenge you a little bit.
Hold on, I got to finish my point.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't care if, like, let's say Daniel Bryan. Let's say they booked him in the most horrible gimmick. Anytime I'm going to a live show, I'm still popping for him, regardless if he's in a shitty booking spot or if they're pushing him to the top. I am chanting for that guy. I am cheering for him because I want to see him do better because I support that wrestler. All these fans are going to give up, or like how I mentioned in the text before, they want, such and such to come to the WWE. Yeah, Indy Darling. Yeah, bring him here. Vince, you're stupid if you don't sign him. He gets to NXT. Oh, he should get to the main roster. Bring him up to the main roster. Gets to the main roster. He may get a pop like for the first 2 weeks. After that, it's lukewarm reception. Then no one cares about him. As soon as that wrestler's released, what you doing, Vince? You fucking stupid. You let him go. You let go of the best wrestler. He was the best wrestler ever. I hope he goes to AEW. I hope it's like, come on, like, shut up. None of you guys care about these guys until they get released just to make a big fuss.
I agree.
That's how I feel. Look at the wrestlers that just got released now. I'm
seeing a little bit of a disagreement before you get into the people that released.
Well, no,
it's not the fans' fault that they murdered them on the main roster, and they can get mad because good talent gets released.
But they should have repackaged that wrestler. Right? You support that wrestler, like Finn Balor. I like him since Prince Devitt.
I see what you're saying 100% because I see what you're saying.
You support
Here's
them.
The problem with that, though.
Yeah.
If you support the wrestler and you cheer, they're going to think the character's working, and they're going to keep.
No, I thought about that too, and Vince would be like, my idea was great.
But that's. I know you thought about that, but that's exactly what Vince worries about. That's what he works off of. So when they're booing Bray Wyatt or chanting, bring out the beach balls, they hate his booking, and I know it's confused and it's muddled. I get it.
It is.
The company does not understand social media, even though their presence on social media is huge. I don't believe that the higher ups in WWE really understand social media and what it means. When people boo Bray Wyatt or chant "bring out the beach ball," they don't hate Bray Wyatt. They're telling the company the way you're doing him is stupid. Stop. Like, we don't like that. So I get what you're saying, but if they do your logic, and they cheer him, then WWE is going to be like, they love it. So we're going to do more Funhouse Jack in the Boxes, and we're going to do all that shit. So that's the problem.
But the thing is,
WWE is a huge company, and they're trying to. In other words, they refuse to believe that their audience is down. They think their audience has gone down on Raw because they're streaming more and they're just watching more on YouTube. They're not understanding that their product sucks, and that's why they boo.
So can we start?
That's why people boo Drew now. I know you're mad that they boo Drew McIntyre, but they don't. But I know. But they don't boo Drew as a person. They love Drew as a wrestler. They hate what he's doing. They hate that he's feuding with a below mid-carder right now. They hate that.
I got
no, because if he wins the championship, they'll probably boo him still. If he goes back,
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that they're mad.
I know what to do here. All you have to do is change the chant, and the chant is "shitty booking."
Right.
That's
there
true.
You go.
There you go.
Let's start
that's
a
actually
trend.
a true statement.
Shitty
I agree with that.
And then see what they're gonna do with that. They'll probably just mute it on television.
Here's the thing, though. Bray still had the opportunity. And it's not his fault at all. He still was given the time to cut awesome promos, to have awesome segments, to have good matches other than the red lighting, of course, and then the way the
he had a lot of autonomy.
He actually didn't have that bad of a booking, other than and then of course losing to Goldberg, which that was stupid. You ruined the Fiend character by doing that. Of course, I agree with that. But
Fiend had really bad booking.
He what?
Fiend had really bad booking.
Bad booking. Yeah, well, up until the Goldberg thing.
And production.
Yeah, because I don't care about the red light. And honestly, if you want to go down further, fuck you, Matt Hardy, for creating the cinematic matches, because that's what ruined it all. That's why they even went down those routes with a lot of the stuff they did for Bray Wyatt.
Taker and AJ and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, and COVID didn't help that situation.
The further proof, like as far as what I'm talking about, my complaint here though. So like you see this list right now, right? We just got word that our sources, Meltzer.
A lot of people that we don't.
A lot of the guys that got released. The only guys that I was more surprised about was Bronson Reed. I want to say I was surprised about Bobby Fish because of Undisputed Era, but look at right here as it says 44 years old.
I'm super surprised about Bronson.
Yeah, Bronson, I was really surprised about. But then all these lists, and I see people already going off like as if it was Bray Wyatt that got released. I'm like, you didn't even see a lot of these guys on TV no more.
Right.
Like
None of these fans saw it or knows who any of these guys are, and I already see the bashing going on online. What? You released such and such. You released Kona Reeves. You released Tyler Rust, who hasn't even been on TV forever. Like, it's just that's the thing. It's like I don't know what it is about when a wrestler gets released. Everyone just wants to attack WWE, and they want to act like that wrestler is the best in the world.
I agree with what you're saying, but hear me out. Like I've said it to you before in private a lot. It's wrestling fans are bored and they're not giving good content. So when you give them shit content, they're gonna fucking lash out on their own. They're gonna do what they want to do. That's the problem. It's like I understand what you're saying, and I know you're annoyed with today's wrestling fan, but here's the problem: it's like the WWE refuses to believe that their audience has shrunk. They think it's just as big as ever, and it's not. And the problem is all they have left are the hardcore fans. So they're still trying to book for the casuals, but there's no casuals left.
Can I ask a question?
So your venom at the fans is misguided only because not because of what you say about them is untrue, because I agree with what you're saying. But the problem is that the audience is so small now that only the hardcores are left, and the WWE is going out of their way to ignore that. That's the WWE's problem. They're out of touch with today's wrestling product. That's the problem. If they were in touch with today's wrestling product, the casuals, or excuse me, the hardcores would get quieter and quieter and quieter.
Which by the way, once
the
bell rings, most of those matches are fantastic. There's just no story behind it.
Yeah, there's no good story behind it.
Exactly. So can I ask a question? There's a lot of rumors right now. Like this is what is called cutting the fat before sale. So there's a lot of rumors, crazy rumors in my opinion. But you guys tell me what you think that Vince is actually looking to sell.
There's been rumors for the last 10 years that they're going to sell.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. So it's unfounded,
which I find
right?
funny. There's rumors.
NBC could buy a lot of stock and be a majority owner, but like at the same time, there's no way Triple H and Stephanie are going to take the reins after Vince dies. There's no question. There's no question that's going to happen. Triple H and Stephanie will not let the WWE die. They won't.
Vince is going in the Wayback Machine, bro.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care whatever any second-rate Twitter account or dirt sheet says.
That's why I find funny about that, actually, because all the dirt sheets are able to tell you that they're selling and this and that.
Right.
I didn't see none of them predict these 12 wrestlers getting released. I didn't see a lot of predictions. I didn't see no one predict that Bray Wyatt was going to get released.
Because they're full of shit, and most people nowadays don't understand business and what's going to go on with wrestling.
Well, but that's what I'm saying.
Which is why we hate those.
All these websites are reporting all this stuff like, WWE's going to sell Daniel Bryan, CM Punk going to AEW, which that might be true. It might be not. But no one predicted the releases that happened today. No one predicted Bray Wyatt getting released. No one predicted the releases that happened a month ago. Dirt sheets are full of shit. They don't know nothing. They're just going by assumptions. I think they make assumptions.
No, because they're not full of shit. And that's where I don't want to get in a dirt sheet thing. They're not. No, they're not. They're not.
Most of them are.
No, the second-rate ones, the people that copy like the Observer and the Torch and all that stuff, they're second-rate. You actually stumbled upon something,
I didn't stumble upon it.
or intelligently came upon something of the fact that yes, there are a lot of people now, especially now in the last like 5 or 10 years, I would say, that I think they purposely they'll have a WWE meeting, right? And then someone will leave. Vince will tell them, yeah, exactly.
That's my problem.
It's totally true. It's totally true. But the venom towards Meltzer is undeserved.
I don't have venom towards Meltzer anymore. And really not even Alvarez, except he sounds like kind of a punk sometimes on his podcast.
He does. He totally does. I think he does it on purpose.
But he's mad.
Yeah. Well, and he's trying to be like the villain and the heel.
I'm sure like that guy Dave sounds like a total douchebag on that O.W.P podcast. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
I hate him now. Listen.
Alvarez, that's another one because he'll talk about and he has to be doing it on purpose. When he talks about the logic of WWE booking.
And he does the same shit.
He does the same shit. I never hear no one complain about the logic of a wrestler of Orange Cassidy's opponent standing there while he slowly kicks them. How come he didn't say, where's the logic in that? Why would you just stand there while your opponent is slowly kicking you that is not hurting you? Why would you just? I don't ever hear any of that. Let me ask you that.
But that's an opinion that I don't even want to argue. Like I don't get it's his opinion, so what?
But I want to ask that. Does he ever say anything like that, Jess? Does he ever criticize because I never see it.
Well, okay, so I'm gonna kind of side with your side of the argument for a second here. I will admit this right now, that it does seem like they're okay. Well, I know why this is. They obviously favor AEW more.
Yes.
That's obvious.
Obviously New Japan.
But do you want to know why? So back in the steroid trial, when Dave Meltzer appeared on Phil Donahue, WWF actually cut them off. They used to be allowed in the locker room, and Dave had access actually to WWE behind the locker room. But once that happened, Vince McMahon actually told him to go fuck himself because he was on the side of the athletes as far as like, how WWE like exploits them and they want you to take steroids and all that stuff. So of course, naturally, Vince is like, get the fuck out of here. Really, from that point, from that time when Meltzer sided on Phil Donahue, Vince has had it out for Dave Meltzer. So ever since then, they've been more like, well, fuck you too. And so that's why they side with AEW more. I believe in their hearts.
Bias.
They do not believe what AEW is doing is pure wrestling or, all right, all correct, I should say. But I think they side with AEW because it's not Vince. I think that's the vendetta that Dave Meltzer built over the years. Yeah.
That's where I come back. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
But you're right, cousin. You're right in your frustration with him and all that stuff. But I think they've done it from the start. So they want to promote but also, cuz you have to realize, you and I actually had this conversation privately years ago, cuz I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you remember some of it. I always sided with TNA, and you hated TNA. And you were just like, fuck them, blah, blah, blah. No, you were on the same side. Well, I can't say you hated TNA. That's not fair for me to say. That's not fair for me to say that you did not hate TNA. It's not fair for me to say. But you were always like, against me. And I was supporting. And my big thing in the long run was, as long as there's competition, it's needed. Even if you don't like what they're doing. But you always were like against TNA because you just didn't like what they were doing.
I wanted to see something different from WWE, which there was, but you still had the stupid same dumb characters, dumb comedic fucking shit.
No,
that's more my problem. I want to see something different. I want to see something different that's gonna push WWE.
You want to see what AEW said they were going to do, and they didn't, which was, you know what I mean? So, no, I agree with you 100% on that.
What did they say they were going to do?
They said that they were going to be, it was going to emulate a sporting event. It was going to be the opposite of sports entertainment. It was going to be all this, and that's all they're doing now is sports entertainment. So, they totally came, they said that, actually. I agree with Cuz 100%.
And that's where where I can circle in with my whole argument with the Bray Wyatt, the stuff, the booking of a wrestler and why they boo with the booking. It's like, but if that wrestler was being booked the same in AEW, you wouldn't be booing. You'd be cheering.
Right.
Because
so I get that.
That's where my whole frustration.
But to answer your question, because Brian Alvarez hasn't gone out of his way. He actually supports Orange Cassidy. He likes Orange Cassidy. But
well, then I don't ever want to hear him say anything about logic and WWE booking ever again.
No. You're right. But the thing is he supports AEW. Which if you support AEW, how can you say that WWE is hokey because they do the same shit? Shit. I get
the only difference
I really do.
is AEW has more.
But I'm going
to
go back to my original statement, which started this snowball, was that wrestling fans are bored. The hardcore audience is the only audience that's left. The casuals are dead, and WWE still plays like there's a ton of casuals out there, and there's not. No. That's my problem. It's all WWE, because whether you want to say it or not, it's them. They will not. If they started recognizing what was left and who they're catering to, they would change. But they don't want to do it because in Vince's mind, he's seen the highest of the highs, right? I support Vince in that sense. You could say whatever you want. He's a bully or whatever, and I agree with some of that stuff. But at the same time, like, Vince McMahon has seen shit that we fucking never seen. He had to sit in a boardroom with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and Andre and be like, you're not doing that. You're doing that. Shut the fuck up. You're doing that. He had to sit there with Austin and The Rock and that whole Triple H and that whole group and say, you're not doing that. Fuck you. You're doing that. I'm the fucking boss.
And I guarantee you, it was easier. Yeah. It was easier the second.
Can you imagine the strength of that man? Like, again, like, you could say whatever you want about Vince, and he shit on women for a period of time, and he's a bully and all that stuff, and he supports. Okay, you might be right. You might be wrong. You might be right.
But now he's brought women's wrestling to the ultimate height.
Vince is living in the land. Vince still, when he closes his eyes right now, he's just like, and he remembers the Attitude Era. He remembers the rocking '80s, and he workout protein bars. Yeah. Me making out with Trish, and I'm being married, bitch. So Vince still remembers
Vince is gross. Can we just
in his mind, he's always pushing towards the casuals and that explosion of interest. So you can't. He will never admit that my only audience is left is hardcore.
Hey,
he will never admit that.
Something out there? Can we say, like, in less than 5 years, he'll find that casual lightning in a bottle again? I don't know how. I'm just gonna throw it out.
No. I disagree with you because
here's the bet. Here's the bet, because you hear it. It's gonna be the
no.
bet.
But let me say, let me just before you want to make a crazy bet that's gonna get you drinking out of something.
There's already a bet that you won't release.
No. When was the last time? When was the last wrestling boom?
I mean, they had it in the Attitude Era.
It was the Attitude Era.
I mean,
it was before.
Do you want to pick in the middle of it or when it ended? Just that's my only question to you.
Oh yeah.
So it ended in let's say it ended in 01 and the middle of it was like 98, 99. What year do you want to pick?
You're not gonna like my answer.
No, just say it.
Because I think I'm a WWE guy, and I think I'm in weird for a weird situation. I think I'll say 01 because then I get into ruthless aggression.
Okay.
I get closer.
No. So what year is it now?
It's a lot later.
Well, what year is it now? What year is it now?
It's over 20 years later.
So it's over 20 years later. So you really think that in 5 years there's going to be another boom period? What was the difference between the boom period of the Rock in 80s and Austin? 10 years?
Was it? I thought it was longer.
Yeah. Nope, it was 10 years.
Only 10 years?
Let's say let's go with 98. Hogan.
When did Hulkamania die before it went to WCW? When did that?
91, 92?
Yeah, 91, 92.
So
and we started smoking again in like 97, huh?
Yeah. Austin exploded in 98. So Hogan in 88, wrestling was still pretty big, right? So that's 10 years. So you're telling me that 20 years later, or 25 years later, you said within 5 years, you think 25 years later is going to be another boom period? You don't think Vince is the problem? You don't think they would have already hit it now? It's been 25 years since the last boom period.
You know, the thing is, though,
I'm saying,
honestly, it's over. It's over.
I'm saying a broken clock is right twice a day, and they might find something.
If you're talking about boom period like that, but I mean, at the same time,
and there's social media now. There's viral videos. Back then, there was nothing like that. So you have to figure the boom period lagged for 10 years. From the first time, right? From the Rockin' 80s to the Attitude. Let's just say it's 10 years. Let's agree on 10 years. It's been over 20 now. What are you talking about? He's never going to see a boom period again.
You know what I do? Hold on. I throw out crazy stuff that you think is crazy. Maybe the boom period about half the time.
The boom period might just look different to us because look, they're making more money than they ever have, and they have been for a while now.
No, and you're right, because that's a very good point.
That's the thing. It's just not what we want.
That's a very good point. Well, that's why he doesn't feel the fire under his ass, right? Because he's reporting the biggest during a pandemic. He reported the biggest profits in WWF history or WWE
still
history.
Cut like fucking 30 people.
So you're right, cuz, but that should answer your guys' question when you get pissed about stuff. Is that's why he doesn't feel a 911. But I parlayed into the fact that once they bring on the second show, I think they're going to struggle.
I don't even have an opinion on this.
The second show, what's the second show again? Rampage. Is it Rampage?
Wasn't that tonight? Wasn't that tonight?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Next week.
I thought it was next week. Yeah.
And we'll see.
Well, here's the deal.
If CM Punk comes
I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad you brought that up, cuz.
Because you want to attack me again?
Next week's going to be the first. Dave, shut the fuck up right now. Shut up. With all due respect, shut up. No. I hope you die. All due respect, die. So
stupid conversation.
We're going to have to edit the shit out of this, but I don't care. I want to keep going.
Let's keep going. Yeah. It's going to be one episode.
So yeah, next Friday is the first episode of Rampage, and then the week after that, they're in Chicago, which they sold out the United Center, and CM Punk is going to be there.
He's going to be there.
They're promoting the United Center so much. There's no way he can't be there.
You know what's funny though? It seems like
they sold 12,000 tickets in like the first day. That's insane.
If he's not there, they might riot. I'm just saying. If he's not
gonna be, and I want the riot on television because I would love to see it. Like the Dodgers and the Giants.
Like don't expect like fans to be cordial in that situation.
Oh no, they're gonna be unruly assholes.
If he doesn't come out, even if he does come out, they're still gonna.
That's the hilarious thing. So the hilarious thing is this, right? So they're putting he could just come out and be like, "Hi." We'll see you next week. Like they could totally do that. They're gonna do that. You will not see him till the end.
He's not gonna.
It's gonna be the end. He's gonna come out to Cult of Personality, and he's just gonna stand there like, "Oh my God, Sam! Oh my God!" And then it's just gonna copyright AEW, and then it's gonna go out.
We'll see you next week. Yeah. They should not be doing a second show. What are they thinking?
Maybe that's where he works on the second show. I don't know. Come on.
No, they will not. No, they're gonna put him on Dynamite. They're gonna do because once you have two shows. When one rating starts to slip in another show, you start stacking talent on the other show to do that. I agree with Cuz on that point. Now they're falling down a rabbit hole that they shouldn't be falling down. Why would you bring a second fucking show in? Why?
Yeah, I think they
Why? You don't have to split the talent. I mean, just
they won't. They won't do the draft.
You might find a viewer on Friday who goes, if you like this, tune in on tune in here.
I don't think they'll do the draft, but
I don't think the wrestling audience. No, they won't do the draft. I agree with you. They will not. But the wrestling audience is too small to have 2 shows. That's 4 hours of content. Come on.
Yeah, they're already digging themselves in the
hole. Too much.
Again, don't be like WWE, but let's put 6
hours.
Why
would you not keep Dynamite for another couple years and bring Daniel Bryan and CM Punk to Dynamite and build it from 1 million viewers to 1.5 to 2 million? Dude, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Why are you doing second show?
Obviously, SmackDown's doing something right with the 2 million all the time.
Well, they're just writing good television.
You don't put Ted Lasso on.
Yeah, but cuz though, 2 million for network is terrible. Let's be honest.
You guys totally missed
that. I mean,
what did you say, Dave? Sorry.
I said you don't put Ted Lasso on twice a week.
It's terrible, but
people are clamoring for Ted Lasso every single week.
If you look at certain,
it's fantastic.
Certain highest rated news programs are around 5 million. So I mean, for wrestling, 2 million in this day and age, it's not too.
You are
shabby.
correct. Yeah, you're
especially on a Friday night. Friday night, everyone's
even
out
for
partying.
network. You think? Even for network, you think?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The highest rated news shows will get 5 million. I mean, even that's not. I mean,
but on CNN and stuff like that, or a network, or are you talking about?
But I don't know. But it's also Friday night. Most people are out partying. I get it. Back then, SmackDown got 5 million, but you didn't have all the shit that you had today. You don't have Netflix and all that stuff to distract you from watching SmackDown.
That's a good point too.
And considering how bad WWE is, honestly, it's actually pretty good.
No, it's a good point. And then on top of that, it's just a better book show. SmackDown's fun.
It is.
What happened?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
No, say what you're saying.
No. You'll hear it on the record later.
I didn't hear you.
I don't want to guess though.
Yeah, I don't want you.
It might be a good talking point. It might be a good talking point.
When you separate it later and you listen to it, you'll hear it all. It'll be.
But you might be making a good talking point. What'd you say?
You're a bitch point. You're making a bitch point.
It is a bitch point. I'll admit to that right now. All I'm saying is, guys, nobody cares.
That's true.
About what?
No, you're right, because you know what? Vince is reporting the biggest profits ever in history.
Nobody gives a shit about what you're talking about. Nobody cares.
It's true.
No, that's fine.
It's true.
Nobody. What if they did this and that about 2 shows? What if they did to one?
Meanwhile, they're reporting the biggest profits ever. Nobody's ever gotten into their life.
Nobody fucking cares, man.
I'm curious. Well, I'm curious to see what AEW what's their numbers like. But I was gonna say since we were talking about CM Punk,
you sound like Meltzer right now, bro. It's really offensive. I'm sorry, but
their numbers are good for what they
knows
do.
The numbers.
Nobody cares.
They're doing more than Vince. Bigger profits than Vince. Kenny Omega bringing in all the profits. Even though
I talked to Brian Pillman told me that.
Even though that's actually another good point to bring up though. Impact, couple of the most lowest rated shows with Kenny Omega as the main event.
I don't know if that's a direct shot at Omega.
But at the same time, the Impact's not on TNT. It's not on.
Right.
It's not on Fox or
Well, Impact's what is on what? What are they
on?
I don't even remember.
I don't even know anymore. Yeah, I think I don't even know anymore, honestly, because I just do the Impact Plus.
And to your point, cuz neither does anybody else.
That's why they're like, oh, I'd watch it if it was on a network that I knew. But no, that I just.
Because are you? By the way, I just want to throw this out there. Are you prepared to edit this episode because we're over an hour at this point?
Well, there's only one part we got to cut out.
Well, no, I know, but I don't want to put an hour fucking unscripted up.
Jesus, I don't care, whatever. It's gonna go. I was supposed to do an open house tomorrow, and I'm not doing that no more tomorrow. So I have all Saturday morning. So.
Oh, this is
Dave. What do you want to see happen in this episode? Tell me right now.
We keep going. I don't care.
I wish I had
unscripted. Who cares?
I wish I really cared about it. I mean, this is the same bullshit. Nobody really cares to really want to talk about. I mean, you can talk about the ratings and why it's working and the fact that they changed the name one week and that's why they got more ratings. Nobody cares. But
Dave,
that.
Unscripted is more meant for just who cares. People are going to get a laugh out of it.
No,
you don't listen to Unscripted to hear our analysis on the ratings
about the good stuff and put the laughs in. But I'm telling you, you want
we're all bantering. It was actually funny.
You want to talk about casuals? I don't know, man.
Casuals.
I think we got way off base here, and
we're talking about wrestling.
Probably got a little angry in spots,
but it's fun.
That's fine. That's
and we said things that we regret, and
I did.
I guess that's what Unscripted is all about.
Jesus.
But just what I want to tell you is I'm not even mad at you. I still love you.
Well,
I just want to tell you that. I just want you to know.
Well,
that's all that matters.
And when you left, I will be honest, I blamed you for me calling you the R word.
You said it. You're like, it's your fault.
I was like, Jake's fault
that I said that. Yeah. Exactly.
Well,
totally makes sense.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up, which I thought was a cool thing, that there's a couple gold medalists that are on their way to WWE. Tamara, I mean, I can't. Sorry if I butcher this. Tamara Mensah Stock. So for one, she is the first African American woman to ever win a gold medal in Olympic wrestling for the U.S. And she actually right here in this video. So her and then Gable Stevenson right here. He's been training with Brock Lesnar. He's friends with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns.
I'm sorry about that.
I just think it's cool that you have two wrestlers that went to the Olympics this year. They both won gold medals. For Tamara, she's the first ever African American woman to win a gold medal in wrestling for the U.S. And then you have Gable Stevenson, who's actually been training with Brock Lesnar for a while. I just think it's a cool thing. I think it would be cool that they come to WWE. I think it'd be awesome. They both want to come to WWE. Gable Stevenson actually says he wants to kind of follow the Brock Lesnar path. He wants to either go to football or MMA, and he wants to go to WWE as well. But I just think that's a cool thing, to bring more prestige like that to the WWE. It just, my only thing is, like we've been talking about this whole episode, is the booking. How are they going to book them? Are they going to treat them like a Kurt Angle? I would hope so. I don't know, but I just thought that was a cool fun fact. This is stuff that happened this week. It happened this week in wrestling.
I am the Kurt Angle fan.
Yeah,
I want to say but what I'll tell you,
you're the Kurt Angle guru.
I love the man. I don't know if these people are going to have the same kind of nostalgia reign or charisma that Kurt Angle has. I mean, come on, they're great wrestlers.
That's the thing. No, you're right. And then it would also be how
Kurt Angle had more than just great wrestling. And Kurt Angle was one of the best wrestlers in the world at one time with a broken freaking neck. We heard the story, but Kurt Angle also put on those little cowboy hats. Also, brought in the milk truck. Also made fun of himself on a regular basis. Can they do that? I don't know.
And
don't go throwing around Kurt Angle fucking jargon like that. Don't disrespect the man. They're not even there yet.
I'm talking about the gold medal. They went to the Olympic gold medals.
Okay, they won the gold medal. So did Kurt Angle. But did they do what Kurt Angle did yet?
No. Well, even back then, did you know Kurt Angle was going to be the star he was?
That's true. Now? Oh, good point.
Is he now?
Fuck.
Okay, so what you're saying is you can win a gold medal and everyone has Kurt Angle's fucking personality. That's what you're saying.
I think it would be cool. I think that's a cool thing.
Like, I appreciate your gold medals. What you're trying to make. Let's bring them in and see what happens. But don't go riding a Kurt Angle fucking wave on these two Olympic gold medalists. Don't do that.
No, they won't be. I don't know if they'll be.
Have some respect.
I don't know if they'll be like Kurt Angle.
Good.
I'm just saying. I think it's awesome.
Way to walk it back. I
Olympic
appreciate
gold medalists.
Way to walk. Okay.
I'm
glad you walked
Olympic
it back.
Gold medals in wrestling.
Good. And you know what? I'm a big Olympic guy. My wife and I watch the Olympics nonstop. It's probably why I can't sleep right now. I don't sleep.
But it happened this week in wrestling, is what I'm saying too. That's another reason why I brought that in. I just thought that was a cool little, little fun segment to bring in.
Just respect your steps.
I mean, she had personality in that interview, just alone. And the other interviews I saw of her when she won the
sure. I totally agree. I think she's fantastic, and she's bubbly, and she has that personality right now. But it's a big difference getting behind the the kayfabe curtain if it even exists anymore.
I'm sure both of them will be Kurt Angle's illegitimate kids. They'll work that into the storylines like they did with Jason Jordan. They'll bring Kurt Angle back just for that.
I feel bad for that guy.
Kurt Angle?
No, Kurt Angle is doing just fine. Jordan with that neck injury.
Oh, I know.
It's just, I feel bad for that guy. He had a ton of talent.
I'm glad they have him back there as a producer now, though. I thought, I met him at WrestleMania when we went. We met him there at the Fan Access. Right. He was cool. He was a cool guy. I felt bad, man. Like that sucks because he was such a good wrestler, and I think he could have gone far. He had the personality.
It is interesting that he also broke his neck, and
it is actually, and he was Kurt Angle's son on storyline. Yeah. In storyline.
Really
well,
weird.
Kurt Angle persevered and won the match with a broken freaking neck, so he didn't.
Well, that's. I mean, look at Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, Edge.
Yeah.
They came back. Jason Jordan. I don't know how severe it is compared to like
He's
Daniel
young.
Bryan.
He's really young.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how severe it's compared to Edge. I don't think it's as bad as Edge, but
See if he wants to. He might be happy where he is.
Oh, he's a producer. Obviously, we saw that he produced a couple of the matches at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The good ones?
Or Mania.
Was it Mania or was it Summer? I don't remember.
Well, SummerSlam hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, you're right. Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank just happened.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nice. Oh my.
All right,
God.
we're done with this.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dave. Take it away.
Now you want me to control this thing? You guys have been talking over it for 2 fucking hours, and now you want me to fucking close it
Well,
out?
we need you to do your part. You got to do your part.
I thought you were controlling this. That was the whole point.
There's no ending to Unscripted.
For audio fans, give us
That's
listens
your
on
no,
Apple
just
it's
right.
not
No,
that
cut it out.
bad.
This is Unscripted, Dave.
Podcast,
Fuck
or watch
you.
our videos on YouTube at our wrestling channel.
Oh,
on social
God,
media,
man.
give us a follow on Instagram or Twitter at O.W.P 2019, or on Facebook at our wrestling podcast. This is Dave, Justin, Cuz with the O.W.P doing some really ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
Have a good night.